Behind the polished smiles, the endless buffets, and the postcard-perfect sunsets, there's another side to cruising that most passengers will never see. Former crew members say the industry hides more than it reveals, and the truth might change the way you look at your next vacation at sea. In this video, we're exposing 13 secrets from ex-cruise workers, things passengers were never supposed to know. Some will shock you, some will make you think twice before booking, and a few might even save your trip from disaster. But before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me where you're listening from. It always amazes me how far these stories reach. And if you want me to keep going with this video-making journey, hit like and subscribe. That way, you'll never miss the secrets, tips, and hidden truths I uncover. All right, grab your boarding pass and let's set sail. Secret 1. Passenger profiling goes deeper than you think. Think nobody notices you on board? Think again. Ex-crew members admit that from the moment you book, the ship is already building a profile on you. Your spending habits, your dining choices, even where you like to hang out. It all gets tracked. When you swipe your cruise card or use your wearable medallion, data is quietly recorded. That fancy cocktail you bought 3 nights in a row? Logged. How often you show up at the buffet? Logged. Which shops you linger in? Logged. And it doesn't stop there. The crew themselves are part of the system. Bartenders memorize your name and your favorite drink before you even show up. Stewards spread word of passengers who are overly generous or overly demanding. Why does this matter? Because your reputation follows you on board. Passengers seen as high value, the big spenders, the polite guests, may suddenly get upgraded cabins or surprise perks. Meanwhile, those flagged as diffics might find their requests mysteriously delayed or handled with caution. Bottom line, be kind, tip fairly, and remember, the ship knows more about you than you think. Secret 2. Cruise casinos are rigged against you. The flashing lights, the ringing slot machines, the free drinks. It feels like Vegas on the sea. But former dealers say the odds are far worse than you'd expect. Unlike land-based casinos, where strict gaming commissions enforce fair odds, cruise ship casinos sail under looser rules. Slot machines can be programmed to pay out far less than the ones you'd find in Las Vegas or even in a roadside gas station. Some use server-based systems that can remotely adjust payout percentages at any time. And the table games? Many cruises run blackjack with watered-down rules, like paying 6 to 5 instead of the traditional 3 to 2. That small change makes a huge difference over the long run. Sure, some passengers win. You'll see champagne celebrations, jackpot announcements, and the occasional free cruise handed out. But the reality is simple. The house edge is even sharper at sea. If you play, treat it as entertainment, not a money-making scheme. Set a limit. Don't chase your losses, and think twice before pouring your vacation budget into flashy slot machines that are designed to drain it. Secret 3. The food isn't always fresh. That endless buffet might look like it was cooked up just minutes before you walked in, but behind the scenes, it's not always as fresh as it seems. Former kitchen staff say much of the food is frozen long before it reaches your plate. Lobster tails, steaks, chicken, even seafood often arrive frozen to handle the sheer logistics of feeding thousands of people daily. Some scrambled eggs come from liquid mixes instead of cracked shells. Many pastries and breads are baked from frozen dough. To be fair, it's not about cutting corners. It's about practicality. Running a floating city means efficiency is key. But here's the insider trick. If you want the freshest food, skip the pre-made trays at the buffet and head to the made-to-order stations. Omelet bars, pasta stations, stir-fry counters. That's where ingredients are cooked right in front of you. And for the very best meals on board, spend the extra money on specialty restaurants. The steaks are better, the juices are fresher, and the quality is a noticeable step above the main dining hall. Secret 4. Shore excursions can be risky. That dream excursion, ziplining in the jungle, swimming with dolphins, exploring ancient ruins, might not be as safe as it looks in the brochure. Here's why. Most excursions are run by third-party companies, not the cruise line itself. In countries with loose regulations, safety standards can be wildly inconsistent. Former excursion staff tell stories of faulty equipment, poorly trained guides, and accidents that left passengers with expensive medical bills. And don't expect the cruise line to take responsibility. The waiver you sign means that if something goes wrong, the liability usually falls on you, not them. At best, you'll get a refund for the excursion itself. But there's another catch: timing. If you book an official cruise-sponsored excursion, the ship will wait if your tour runs late. If you book privately and your bus breaks down, the ship leaves without you. The rule of thumb: for short, simple activities close to the port, private tours can be fine, but for anything long-distance or risky, paying extra for the cruise line's excursion is your safety net. Secret 5. Free perks are just sales traps. Free champagne at the art auction, a no-cost spa consultation, a complimentary wine tasting. Sounds like a dream, right? But ex-crew members say it's all part of a playbook designed to get you spending. The art auction? That free bubbly is bait. Once you're inside, the pressure ramps up, and many passengers walk out with overpriced paintings they regret. Spa consultations? Just sales pitches for expensive treatments and creams. Wine tastings? They end with a hard sell to buy bottles at steep markups. It's not generosity, it's psychology. They hook you with something free, then lean hard on impulse buying. How do you beat the system? Enjoy the perks, but set a mental limit before you walk in. Drink the champagne, listen to the pitch, and then walk away guilt-free. Saying no doesn't make you rude, it makes you smart. Secret 6. Theft is often covered up. You'd think that if your wallet or jewelry went missing, the ship would launch a full-scale investigation. But former security staff say that's rarely the case. Unless it's a major theft, usually over $10,000, many incidents are quietly brushed aside. Why? Because cruise lines prioritize reputation. A loud scandal could ruin the atmosphere and trigger bad reviews. Instead, missing items often get chalked up to lost property, or passengers are advised to check their cabin again. Sometimes, insurance claims are suggested instead of full investigations. Protect yourself by using the in-room safe for valuables, avoiding flashy displays of expensive items, and photographing the contents of your suitcase before boarding. That way, if something disappears, you've got proof for insurance. Secret 7. Crew living conditions are rough. Passengers imagine crew members relaxing in paradise after work. The reality? Cramped, windowless cabins deep below deck, often shared with another person. Ex-workers describe long shifts, 10 to 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, for months on end without a day off. Privacy is minimal, meals are basic, and conditions can be harsh. Some recall returning to broken air conditioning, sweltering heat, or noisy hallways after exhausting shifts. Why mention this? Not to ruin your vacation, but to give perspective. The smiling faces serving your drinks are working under tough conditions. Small gestures, tipping fairly, saying thank you, being patient, go a long way. And here's a tip. Avoid booking passenger cabins near crew areas, stairwells, or elevators. These spots are noisy, busy, and often less comfortable. Midship cabins on higher decks offer a quieter stay. Secret 8. Your cruise card is a tracking device. That little plastic card or medallion isn't just your room key. It's also the backbone of the ship's surveillance system. Every swipe is logged. Your purchases, your casino time, your excursions, even when you leave or return to the ship. Guest services can pull up your entire spending history with a few clicks. For high spenders, that might mean perks, complimentary wine, invitations, or priority bookings. But for anyone with unpaid charges or declined cards, it can mean restrictions until the balance is fixed. In other words, your card defines who you are on board. Track your own spending in the cruise app, and if something gets flagged, deal with it fast. Secret 9. Hidden gems are everywhere. If you know where to look, most passengers crowd the same spots: the pool deck, the buffet, the theater. But insiders know the real treasures are hidden in plain sight. Quiet lounges behind art galleries, scenic decks with no size, G-inns pointing to them, observation nooks at the front of the ship where hardly anyone goes. Some newer ships even have secret bars behind unmarked doors, found only by curious explorers. Want insider access? Befriend the crew. A bartender or steward will often share their favorite secret spot if you ask politely. And here's a bonus tip. The best time to enjoy the ship's main attractions isn't at night. It's during port days, when most passengers are ashore. That's when pools, spas, and gyms feel like your private paradise. Secret 10. Not all cabins are equal. When booking, it's tempting to go for the cheapest room. But ex-crew members warn, some cabins should be avoided at all costs. Low-deck cabins near engines or crew corridors can be noisy 24/7. Rooms under nightclubs or theaters might thump with music until 2 a.m. And interior cabins without windows? They can feel claustrophobic, especially on long voyages. Midship cabins on higher decks offer the smoothest ride and the least noise. They cost more, but if you value sleep, they're worth every penny. Secret 11. Emergencies happen more than you think. Passengers rarely hear about them, but behind the scenes, medical emergencies and accidents happen often. Heart attacks, food poisoning, injuries during excursions. Crew members are trained to handle them discreetly. Ships have medical centers, but resources are limited. In serious cases, patients may need to be evacuated by helicopter or rushed to the nearest port. These situations are rarely announced publicly to avoid panic, but they're a reminder. Cruise ships are isolated cities. If you have health concerns, travel with insurance and necessary medications, because once you're at sea, help isn't always immediate. Secret 12. Hidden costs are everywhere. The ticket price is just the beginning. Former staff say cruise lines are masters at nickel-and-diming passengers once they're on board. Drinks, Wi-Fi, specialty dining, gratuities, excursions, they all add up fast. Even basics like bottled water or laundry can come with inflated price tags. The trick is awareness. Set a daily budget, read the fine print, and decide ahead of time what extras you actually want. That way, you won't end the trip with a credit card bill that costs more than the cruise itself. Secret 13. Why crew still say it's worth it. After all these secrets, you might think crew members hate the job. But here's the twist. Many say they wouldn't trade the experience for anything. Yes, the hours are brutal and the living conditions tough. But the friendships, the travel opportunities, and the sense of community make it worth it for many. Crew members describe seeing the world, meeting people from dozens of cultures, and building bonds that last a lifetime. It's the heartwarming truth behind all the secrets. Despite everything, for many, the sea still feels like home. So now, you're not just a passenger, you're an insider. You know the tricks, the risks, the hidden costs, and the secrets that most people never hear about. Tell me in the comments, which of these 13 secrets shocked you the most? And if you want more hidden truths like this, hit that like button and subscribe. Until next time, sail smart, treat the crew with kindness, and make your next cruise your best one yet.